Hello, and welcome to the Daily Devo for Wednesday, the 4th of October. Today, we're going to talk about taxes today, but not the kind you think. This is entitled Jesus on the Temple Tax. Jesus on the Temple Tax. Matthew 17, 24 to 27. Verse 24 is quoted, "Doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax?" That was being asked of Jesus's followers. I guess they been shamed enough in their inquiries to go to him directly. Taxes and fees are part of life, along with death, right? Like the old saying goes, only two sure things, death and taxes. The same was true at the time of Jesus. In this case, Jesus turned one of those experiences into a teachable moment. It was precipitated by a question asked by officials from Jerusalem. Your teacher pays the 2 drachma temple tax, right? The temple played a vital role in the Jewish faith from the time of Solomon until it was destroyed by the Romans about 40 years after the time of this story recorded in Matthew 17. The temple at Jerusalem was the geographic focal point of the Jewish faith, the place where the Lord said most clearly, "I am one, I am with you, I forgive you." The tax mentioned in the story originated at Mount Sinai when Moses collected a half shekel, the income from 2 working days, from every Israelite male 20 years of age and older. That's found in Exodus 30. The offering was used to support service conducted at the tabernacle, the portable version of what would become the temple in Jerusalem. The first temple was built by Solomon about 1,000 years before the time of Jesus. At the time of King Joash, who reigned about 800 years before Jesus, this offering became a tax used to rebuild and reinvigorate worship at the temple, which had drifted into disuse and disrepair. And we read about that in 2 Chronicles chapter 24. The same tax collected annually was now called the 2 drachma tax. It is the subject of the question posed to Peter. Peter's quick affirmative answers show the need for clarification. With the coming of Jesus, a new reality was dawning. The temple, as important as it was, would soon be destroyed, Matthew 24:2. Jesus presented himself as its replacement in Matthew 12:6 and in John 2:19 to 22. Given this impending reality, was payment of the tax necessary? Jesus drew a comparison with the political world in which kings do not collect taxes from their own family members. With Jesus as king, there was no need for believers, his family, to pay the tax. At the same time, Jesus did not want to create an unnecessary obstacle around a building that was so important to the faith of so many. So he directed Peter to pay the tax, but did so by providing the necessary coin in supernatural fashion. In this way, he helped both Peter and those who had yet to make the transition from temple to Jesus. I guess they want you to read the passage to find out the supernatural way in which the tax was provided. I won't spoil it for you. I'm assuming most of you know the story. If not, many of you know the story already of where those 2 coins came, and not just 2, but 2 for Jesus and 2 for Peter. Came from, I believe, maybe I just re-quoted that story wrongly. But I like the line here, not to create an unnecessary obstacle around a building. I just got done watching some short, funny video clips. One of them was about a guy who'd gone to church with his wife. He'd forgot to shut his phone off, or at least kill the volume on it. And it went off during the service. He had all kinds of disapproving looks, heads shaking, people saying unkind things to him, his wife nagging him afterwards. And he never went back to church again. I've known people who complained about young men showing up at church wearing their baseball hats and leaving them on. I remember my response. Aren't you happy they were in church today? Well, what's the deal with the baseball hat? So you don't like it. It's not your dress code. Don't create an unnecessary obstacle. We do that with how people dress, did they clean up for the day or whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of goofy stuff. The goal is to bring people to Jesus. And just think of all the different people that Jesus was drawn to. That woman at the well was a complete outcast. Plus, she was Samaritan, lived a questionable lifestyle. Jesus sat right down there with her and talked to her. Lepers who came to him, who were supposed to be unclean and not coming near anybody else, Jesus touched them. Tax collectors who went to their house and ate with them. There were no barriers that he would not cross to bring people to belief and salvation. That's our goal too. We need to stop being nitpicky and choosy and picking fights on the silliest of things. We need to simply be ambassadors for Christ. I don't pardon this phrase at the end, but it just strikes me, come hell or high water. We don't create the barriers. We try to overcome them. Blessings to you today, and let's make sure we keep the way open for people to come to faith in Christ.